Good morning, Zio here, and today we're going to be talking about Destiny 2 and this insane transmog thing that they have, yeah, Bungie, what happened to you? Look, I understand, the recent divorce of Bungie and Activision is a good thing, right? Because for the most part, Activision is cancer. We've seen what they've done. However, it feels like just looking at this, whatever infected Bungie from Activision is still there. That's the fact right there. It's still infecting Bungie, and I guess this is just Bungie now. They're you can't blame Activision because when they do an Activision, a blatant Activision kind of thing, right? This is Bungie, and this is the Bungie we have to know now. And it sucks. So grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it, shall we? Now, we're talking about transmog. So what is transmog exactly? If you don't know what a transmog is, that's fine. You may not know. You've probably heard of weapon skins and stuff, that's kind of a transmog-ish system, right? It's the act of taking a skin of one thing and making another thing look like it, essentially. So, in the MMO world, in this particular kind of game or whatnot, a transmog would essentially be like at level 15 you've got yourself this really nice trench coat that you really like to look up on your character, right? However, you're now level 60 and the stats to that coat is so bad, you want to wear it but you can't, not for the stats, because the level 60 chest plate is way better and is what you need to complete, to do in-game content and stuff. So what transmog allows you essentially to do is take that level 60 piece of gear and look like that level 15 trench coat that you really like on your character, right? And transmogging comes in different names. It's got a different name here in Destiny that I can't really be bothered to remember and probably never will. Anyhow. But over, say, in Final Fantasy XIV, it's called Glamour. In World of Warcraft, it's called Transmog, or Mogging, that sort of thing. But this is their insane answer to giving people transmog, and it is so insane on how to do it that it literally is just there to milk you of money. There's no doubt about it in my mind that this purely is a pay to use system, that they're willing to give you a few crumbs if you don't want to pay, but then again, it's going to take you like 12 years to be able to really do anything meaningful with it, which really sucks. So how does this work? So, in order to get their transmog system work, apparently players must earn up to 10 synth weave per class per season. That's what you got to do, right? So, to celebrate the introduction of armor synthesis in season blank, players may earn 10 additional Sith Weave, which is cool. You get 10 additional ones. So that's a total of 20 Sith Weave per class, which can either be used to convert 4 full sets of ornaments or 20 specific items, right? So already, if it's kind of confusing, that's fine. It is confusing, but just pay attention to this. In normal circumstances, you can do 10. Right, which would be the ability to transmog 10 specific items, okay, or 2 full sets of ornaments, right? Because they're feeling gracious, they're giving everyone the ability to get 20 of these items, so they can double that. Now, why is this such an issue? So this is how this works. Let's see. To begin with, players must earn Synth Strand by killing enemies. Once 150 Synth Strand is earned, it can be turned into Ada and the Tower in exchange for class-specific bounties, which will reward Synth Cord. All right, so we now have 2 items in the mix just to transmog something. Synth cords can then be converted into synth weave, which you can only do a maximum of 20 in this particular season, 10 any other season after that, because they're being generous today. You can then convert to synth weave at the loom in the tower. And then finally, synth weave can be used to convert unlocked armor appearances, legendary or lower, in your collection to a universal armor ornament. So I'm gonna die. Anyway, so we've got to get synth strand, right? Convert that into synth cord, correct? Then we can convert that into synth weave, and we're limited to 10 in any given time, in any given season. And then we can take that synth weave to turn it into a universal armor ornament. 4 items to be able to transmog. Also, on top of all that, you're limited, 1, to how many you can have, but you can pay for the privilege of having more. Because why not? This is what we're doing. We are literally turning this into a phone game where you've got like 15 different kinds of items you've got to get, but if you want more quicker, you're going to have to pay for it, right? So, if you're limited to 10 items per class per 3-month seasons, right? Because each season is 3 months, is give or take. It will take you about 12.5 years to grind out all current armor sets for transmog, and that's not including anything new, right? Well, of course, that actually says that. But anyway, if you insist, you decide to well out at $10 for every 5 pieces, it will cost you around $3,000 to transmog all the armor. Yep. That is crap. Okay, so let's take a look at how other games do it, shall we? This is World of Warcraft. I would bring it up, but my subscription isn't active. But yeah, you can see here, maybe you can see here, I actually can't remember the button I need to zoom in and out here. But yeah, see, here we go. This is kind of bad looking, but it's a small picture. This is how the armor or the transmog system works in WoW. What happens is your character picks up item, appearances added to the transmogrifier. That's it. Literally, that's it. All you have to do is be a class that can wear that particular thing. So if you are a class like a paladin or warrior who can use plate, anything that can be equipped to that warrior or paladin will be saved to your transmog thing, which is why, I don't know if it's true today because of the way they've changed some things and stuff, but if you wanted to do transmog runs, you built a warrior to go do these transmog runs because they could literally equip everything in the game, from bows, guns, swords, maces, axes, plate, cloth, leather, whatever. You can do it as a warrior because when you do pick it up, it will unlock it, right? And then it didn't matter which class you were playing, you would have the stuff, right? And that's how that would go. Yeah, that's how WoW goes. Now, in order to do it, of course, you go over and you can look over here. You've got the different slots here. You can hide certain items, make them vanish, that sort of thing. Or, you can transmog how they look into different things. Like we're looking at all these different swords here where you can make the look of it a different thing. And what it costs you is currency, right? Gold, in-game currency that you get doing everything, right? Questing, looting, stuff like that. And that's how that system completely works. Great system, love it. Wish more games would do that. Although I kind of wish it didn't have that limitation where if you're not a plate wearer or if your character can't actually use swords, you can't gather the appearance. And the only reason I say that is because I play as a druid, and sometimes there's a really, really sweet sword that drops and it's soulbound, and I'm just like, dang it, I can't equip this or I can't get this mog. It happens. Anyway, but yeah, so also you've got this here. In addition to keeping everything in a thing like that, they do have it filtered out for different armor sets. Wow. Anyway, so, you know, because there were different armor sets throughout this game. Like you had Gladiator 1 sets, Gladiator 2 sets, you know, the Legion sets, Nighthold, Firewalker, gosh, what was that one? Firelands, you know, things like that, which were sets, of course. You know, when they took sets, when they had sets in the game, then they took them out, and then anyway, long conversation for that. But yeah, you know, it would save these things so you could actually fill them up. And if, say, you want it to look like your old Glad 1 self back in the day when Arena started and stuff, and you grinded for all that Glad gear, you know, it's saved to this tab, and you just have to go in, click it, and automatically converts everything, and then you just pay the gold cost to make it happen. Right? You know, that's how that worked. Over in Final Fantasy, of course, it's a bit different. Not a huge fan of it because it does feel limiting as to how much you can have, unlike WoW's, which just is a pocket for everything. But, you know, it's still a respectable, decent system that doesn't feel like it locks you out too much to a point to, you know, where you can actually experience the in-game known as glamour. And for those of you who say that glamour is not the end game to Final Fantasy XIV, you're wrong. Just saying. But essentially what you do in Final Fantasy XIV is you get something called a glamour prism. Now, you can go buy those. There's NPCs who sell these things and stuff. And then you essentially attach a particular item to it, sort of thing, and then it goes and you put those, or they get put into, or you go put them into whatever, into your glamour dresser, which, you know, you can find in wherever your house is, because, you know, Final Fantasy has player housing and stuff, or other rooms. You can go to an inn, you'll use the room there or something like that, and get access to your glamour dresser here, right? Which allows you to then look at these things and change them. And there's, of course, different things that, like with WoW, like if it's, say, an Arcanist only thing, it can only be equipped by another Arcanist, or only be done when you're in, you know, in that job, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's got similar limitations there, except for, you know, it's got what feels, it kind of feels restrictive, but there's plenty of space there too. So, you know, at the same time, if you're not glamoring everything in the world, you probably won't have a whole lot of issues with this system at all. But this system isn't that bad either. I mean, it's a little harder to understand at first than the WoW system, but it is not Destiny's system. I mean, come on. Anyway, so let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm going to end it here, and I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.